This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, hello everybody, good afternoon. My name's Tina. We met a couple of weeks ago. We had the first module together. As my colleague Claudia said, this afternoon we're going to deal with client retention. Of course, our goal is to go through this topic, explaining a deep way, but above all, our goal is to go through some vocabulary which are used to talk about this issue. Client retention, what is it? Okay, first of all, let's explain in a clear way what it is. When we talk about client retention, we talk about the company's ability to turn customers' ability, to talk their ability to remain with us. So basically, that word is our ability to turn our customers in repeat buyers, so that they will continue in the future to be our customers. This is very, very important for companies. It takes a lot to earn a customer. So once we have brought someone into our company, we should do our best to keep these customers. But what can we do to do that? So together we're going to have a look at some tips, some advice, things that company can do in order to keep their customers happy and of course satisfied. So I'm going to share with you. So I'm going to share with you some tips. And as I said before, our goal is to look at also some vocabulary that we use in English when we talk about this topic. First, number one, we can see here track and analyze churn metrics. Here is clear. It means we need to so we need to track. So we need to track our customers and analyze churn metrics. What do we mean when we talk about the number of customers who churn? The number of customers who churn are the customers who stop using our product and they use products of another company. That's what we call in English, when customers churn. For example, nowadays we can talk about internet, and we can say that internet suffers from high churn rate. So this is very important. We need to understand why our customers use a different product. So track our customers. This is the first tip. Number two, implement a customer feedback loop. In that case means, so clear, we needed to get some feedback from our customers. It's very important, to know how they feel about products, and we can't improve if we don't know exactly how they feel about it. So one way is to get some feedback, and we can do that. Maybe we can get some kind of reviews, or maybe some kind of questionnaire. We need to know how they feel about it. And here we talk about customer feedback loop. Of course, here, for example, we have come across this new expression, which is loop. So feedback loop. A loop is kind of circle. So basically, it's like a kind of circle. So we get the feedback, we can improve our service. And of course, as I said before, companies can do that, or they can send a questionnaire, reviews, or they can have kind of surveys, And I'm sure we have come across this expression before, survey, kind of questionnaire, to find out how our customers feel about it. I've just used this expression, and I'm sure you have heard it before, but just to double check, I'm going to write in this chat, and this is to find out. So you need to find out, which means discover. I said here also during the first module when we met the first time, we say that in particular when you listen to native speakers, You will hear a lot of these expressions. And also, for example, in business English, you will hear people saying, you find out how customers feel about it. So to find out is similar when you say to discover. Then we have number 3. It says here, maintain a customer communication calendar. A calendar is a kind of chart that keeps track of our customers. So, for example, in case they stop using our product or they stop interacting with our product, we can get some kind of information. So, okay, we can realize that, you know, for some reason they stopped interact with our product. For example, here, okay, we can have, for example, a kind of, information, and we know exactly what's happening. For example, if a customer subscription is going to expire soon, of course, we can advise them, or we can offer them to renew the subscription. So that's, okay, another good tip. Maintain a customer communication calendar. Then we have number 4, which is to send a company newsletter. When we send a letter or maybe an email, we can give them some information. So we can send an update letter or email where they can have some kind of offers, or just, you know, simple to remind them of our product. It is very important to get some update information, maybe some special offer, and or maybe, like, you know, we cite in English, sometimes you can have a very good bargain. Okay, a bargain is a kind of special offer. You can have, you know, usually the product is very expensive, but of course, when there's a special offer, you can get a good bargain. Then we have, okay, number 5. Number 5, it says here to start a customer education program. This, I would say, is a good investment for the company, because in that case, when you have this educational program, it means you create a variety of customer self-service tools, and they can use it, okay, and they, in order to locate a solution to the problem, that's before reaching out to your support team. So in other words, they have this kind of, okay, self-service tools which they can use, and before contacting you, they can try to find a solution themselves. And okay, so this, okay, another good tip. Next, we have here is build trust with your customers. Many times company, okay, assume that because a customer has bought something from them, the product, means they think that they've got their trust. It's not like this at all. So I would say here, don't assume that they trust you, so they bought your product. What you need to do is, yes, they bought your product, they start using your service, but you need to build this trust. And in that way, what you have to do is to show them that your offer, your product is good, your product is reliable. And I'm going to write it down. I'm sure you come across this expression before, and you have here reliable. When you talk about a reliable product, it's a product that you can trust. Like, you know, for example, a reliable service, you can trust this service, you can trust this product. So build trust with your customer. 7, we have here offer unique service. When what we said before, there is a lot of competition, a lot of competitors. So in order to build this kind of trust with your customers, and you should offer a very unique service. So something like, you know, different from the others, and I would say much better, much more reliable, and much more up to date. Another good expression, which I'm sure you heard of is up to date. So when you say, for example, the product is something which is up to date, means it's not old. So of course, you know, things have changed, there are new things, new features. So you can say here, this product is up to date. So offer unique service. And we have another, which is to start a customer retention program. That's very important, because by having this kind of program, you can encourage them to share feedbacks. In particular, they can influence new customers, and they can create a kind of community with like-minded customers. So that's very important, to share feedbacks. We have had a look at some tips, some advice, some techniques that company can use to do them, to retain customers. Now, in more details, we're going to have a look at some of these strategies. And as I said before, our goal is to focus on new expressions which you can use and new vocabulary. Like we said before, sending, so I'm going to go back to the tip which I talked about before. That was sending an email. Sending a thank you email, it's very important, because you can encourage them, to give you some feedback, and at the same time, yes, you feel like more, what's happening and how they feel about it. So I'm going to share with you an example, and we're going to have a look at what expression I can use when I write an email. And so, so we have here, so I'm going to choose, the first example for you, and like, for example, here, how do I start my thank you email? Well, I can say here, this is an example, thank you for your purchase. I start always with dear customer, but for example, if I don't know the name of the person, it is better for me to start like this. And I have and I'm right in my chat, so I can say here, dear, so dear sir, / madam. This is because I don't know the person I'm referring to, so I just start like dear sir / madam. As you can see, there's always comma, and then I can start. Another good expression I have here is on behalf of oral enterprises. The expression here, on behalf of. So I'm going to write it down here, on behalf of. When you do something on behalf of someone else, means you're taking their place. You're talking because they're interested in knowing something. For example, on behalf of the manager, on behalf of this company. So I'm talking, instead of them, on behalf of. Then we can see here, I have a lot of formal expressions. For example, I want to take this opportunity to express our gratitude for the purchase of our latest product during the recent promotion. Again, as I was saying before, a lot of formal expressions. We have here purchase. Instead of, to buy the product, I use the expression like purchase. And your business with us is much appreciated, and we are pleased to inform you. Here I use very formal expression. For example, I would say, we as a company appreciate your business. So here I use formal expression, your business is much appreciated. And I'm sure you are familiar with this structure. Many times in your business, when you read letter, you receive letters, of course, you come across this expression. So instead of saying, we appreciate your product, we can say, your product is much appreciated. In that case, if, for example, you're offering something and maybe you're thinking about they're going to be your customers in the future, you can say your product, your service will be appreciated. That's because, as a potential customer and you're going to talk about the future, you can say your product, your service will be appreciated. And then we have, okay, at the end of this example, we have, thanks again, we look forward to a long business experience with you. Many times you have come across these expressions like look forward. And I usually have this at the end of my email. And I'm going to give an example. So we can say we look forward, okay. Look forward, okay. So for example, okay, we are looking forward to hearing from you. Okay. When I have this expression at the end of my email. So when I can say, okay, I'm looking forward, we as a company, we are looking forward to hearing from you. Looking at the structure, okay, you have to plus ing. So normally you have, we're looking forward to hearing from you, we are looking forward to seeing you, we are looking forward to meeting you. And usually this is at the end of my email. And even, for example, if you are a tour guide and of course you're talking to your customer, you can use this expression. For example, you can say, I'm looking forward, or we as a company, we are looking forward to seeing you again. And again, I'm going to write here the example. I can say, we are looking forward to seeing you again. Okay, and here is, okay, another example. We are looking forward to seeing you again. So it's like, you know, when you can't wait, you're very excited, very happy to do something in the future. I always say to my students, it's very important for you to remember a kind of example which you can use in everyday life. So it's much easier for you to use also at work. So I'm looking forward, for example, to going to a party. So I can't wait. In the same way, if I have a tour guide, I can say to my client, say, thank you, it was a pleasure, and we are looking forward to seeing you again. So many times you hear this expression. Let's have a look how now I end my email, my letter. Here, for example, we have best regards, kind of formal. I don't know the name of the person I'm writing to because I've started my example here saying, dear customer. I can say here best regards, okay, but if, for example, I don't know the name of the person, of course I can say best regards, or even more formal, I can say yours faithfully. Like we said before, and I'm going to write it down in your chat. So we have here yours faithfully. And so yours faithfully. Like I said before, if I don't know the name of the person and my email starts, my letter starts, dear sir, madam, of course I can end here yours faithfully. But sometimes, okay, if you know the name of the customer, so you're talking to them and you just like, dear Mr., for example, dear Mr. Brown. Very important when I have Mr., okay, I'm never going to use, for example, Mr. John. That's wrong in English. I just need to use the surname. It's the same, Mr. Brown. So many times, I think you have come across this. So many times you have, for example, Miss, like that. Miss, okay, Brown. In that case, you know, I just put Miss, like no Miss, no Mrs. But because I don't know if the person is married or isn't, okay? So that's when you have this example here. So many times, you know, in a letter, you have a person writing to you, so it's Miss because I don't know if she's married or she isn't. Well, if she's married, I just say Mrs. So that's fine. So if it's possible, you know, you have noticed this before. If, for example, okay, I know the name of the person, so I'm going to start with Mr. Brown. Yes, I can end like, you know, my email saying best regards, best wishes, okay. But so many times I can also have this expression here, yours sincerely. Okay, sincerely, like that. And if I start with the name, of course, at the end, I would say yours sincerely. Okay. And so that was an example, and I'm going to have a look at another one for you, okay? And okay. Okay, so I just make a little bit bigger so it'll be easier for you to read, okay? And here, for example, yes, we have another example, dear Nancy. And you can notice that, for example, there's a name, Nancy. So I didn't use, for example, dear Mr. or Mrs. Nancy, because I have the name. So it's less formal. And here we have, okay, it says just a thank you for your loyalty. So we have noticed that you've been our customer for over 9 years now. And so we have noticed. This is a particular structure in English. Okay, we say we have noticed. We don't say like we noticed that, but we have noticed. It's a kind of past, quite popular, okay, but quite confusing for Italian students, because we don't say we noticed that you are our customer, but you have been our customer for over 9 years. You have been means you were in the past and you are still our customer now. So when, for example, you can say, well, you have been with us 3 days, for example, you know, you're talking to, okay, these people, and they said, well, you have been here in Cuneo, in this area for a few days. Means they are still here in Cuneo, they are talking to you, you are the tour guide, and you say, well, you have been here for 4 or 5 days, so now you know a little bit more of this area. So you never say you are here for 4 days, but you say you have been here for 4 days. And then we have, okay, you can say for 4 days, or you can say since Monday. When I use, for example, you've been here since Monday, so you have since, and then you have the specific time. So since Monday, since last week, for 4 days. Then we have here, we highly appreciate you for continuously doing business with us and entrusting us, okay, with care needs. So again, formal, kind of, okay, we highly appreciate you for continually doing business. And then we have, okay, another good expression here, okay, in a bid to show you how grateful we are for your continued support. Encloses a 20% off coupon that you can on a future purchase on hair care service with us. In a bid to show you means in the attempt to show you how grateful we are for your continued support. Encloses a 20% off coupon. Many times, you know, you can offer this. For example, there is a discount. Yes, many times you hear the expressions like discount. So you can say, for example, if you come here, okay, you can get like 20% discount if you come on those days, for example. But many times you can offer your clients a coupon, okay, like it's a kind of, okay, voucher, okay, and they get 20% off. And again, we have again the expression here, look forward to hearing, okay, look forward to your continued support. Again, we have here the expression, look forward to, like, you know, we can't wait, we're very happy, we're very pleased. Okay, so here it was a little bit less formal than the other one. But yes, okay, we just had, you know, these expressions like, you have been our customers, okay? You have been here for a few days. And we highly appreciate you, okay? And or like we said before, okay, your service is really appreciated. Like, you know, it depends on how formal you want to sound. But yes, we can say here, and I'm going to write the example in your chat, your service, okay? So your service has been appreciated. So your service has been appreciated. Again, like I said before, we appreciate your service. Your service has been appreciated. Sorry, okay, appreciated. Okay. And okay, and then yes, at the end, very informal, you just put a name here. So thank you for them. If you have any questions or maybe some kind of structure or maybe something in particular that you would use, okay, maybe in your position, or maybe sometimes you have to write an email or something like that, you feel free to even chat, write in your chat, and I can help you. I'll try, to generally speaking, give an idea of the expression you use when you write an email, or okay, all the expressions you need to use. But just in case you have any particular questions, feel free to ask. Okay, I'm not going to stop a lot on grammar because I think it's very important for you to understand how you use it more than anything. But whenever we come across some grammar structures, I'll try to help you. Like, for example, you have been here for a few days. And I think, try to be in your shoes, in your position. So if you are a tour guide, of course, you say to people, you've been in Cuneo for a few days. So of course, now you know the area. Okay, and it's the same way, for example, when you ask the people who come to you and they say, you've been here before. You don't say you were here before. Maybe at school you remember the past, but you say you have been here before, okay? Or you can say you've never been here before. So you don't say you were, but you have been, okay? There was another example. Okay, and now I'm going to choose, okay, one more. And so, okay, okay, right, this one, okay. And yes, okay, again, I'll try to make it bigger. Okay, right, okay. Okay, yes, again here, okay, so thank you. So it's a thank you email. Thank you for trading with us. Okay, try to make it a bit bigger. Okay. Here we have thank you for doing something. So many times, when you have to get in touch with your customer and when you write an email and you say, thank you for doing this. Thank you for trading with us. Okay. Thank you for coming. So I'm going to write down in your chat, there's expressions like, thank you, and then you just have the ing form. So we can say here, okay, okay, thank you for coming. That's particular structure because you wouldn't say, for example, thank you, okay, to have come, okay. So many students they try to say thank you to have come, thank you to be here, but to say thank you for coming. Thank you for using our product, for example, okay. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. So you always have for plus ing. Actually, you have anytime you have preposition for, to, on, in, you always have in. So thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for using our product. Then here you have, okay, the names like, dear with the name traders. As the year ends, we would like to take this chance to say thank you for being part of us, okay? We can see another example like this. And so here is a chance to say thank you for being part with us. So again, not to be part of us, but you say for being part of us. So we always have the ing form. It's easier to remember because every time I can see in, on, at, I use been. For example, I'm interested in coming here. For example, if you try to offer or you try to tell people about this place, so encourage them to visit this place. It will say if you are interested in, and I'm going to write down in the example. So if you are interested in visiting, let's have a look at this example because I was thinking that could be useful for you because if you need to write down an email and say if you are interested in visit, for example, okay, this area, or if you are interested in coming here in summer, if you are interested in, you always have the ing form. So if you are interested in visit this area in summer, for example, if you are interested in staying with us, so okay, always have the ing form. Then we have, okay, it has been a great experience working with you, and for over 10 years now. Again, here it has been great. You don't say it was great, okay, but it has been great. Like, you know, for example, when as a tour guide, okay, after, you know, you've done your job, you can say to them, it has been great, okay, it has been a great experience, it has been great having you here. So you don't say it was, but it has been, because actually you're still there talking to them. So it was great, for example, when you came last time, but in these days you spent here in Cuneo visiting this place, you can say it has been great, it has been a great experience. And we trust in your trust in us, okay? Yes, okay, so here your trust, again, quite formal here. Let's have a look, okay? This structure, so you can say your trust, okay, in us forms an important part of our company. Very formal here, okay? And so it means, you know, yes, kind of loyal customer, so very important for the company. Thanks for your loyalty. And then you can see here what we said before. You start the email with name. You end like sincerely, which is kind of less formal. More formal would be like, you know, yours sincerely. Okay. But when you have, for example, in many cases, which is something like, you know, less, okay, formal, you can just write it down here, like, you know, best regards. Best regards, okay, or best wishes, which is just fine, okay. Yours sincerely and yours faithfully is kind of like more formal, okay. And again, if you have any questions or something like that, feel free to ask. So maybe you need something more specific, or maybe some kind of expressions more specific, like, you know, please feel free to ask, okay. So we said an email, it could be a good way, you know, to keep track of your customers, to get in touch with them. But we said before, okay, that also getting some feedback is very important. And like we said before, share opinions, share ideas. That's also very important. And to get some feedback from customers, okay? Before we use this expression, okay, I'd like to remind you, we talked about feedback loop, because it's like a circle, and then of course you try to get some feedback, and you get to know your customers, you know what they expect from you. What can we do here is to send a survey, and so we used it before, the expressions like a survey, okay, sorry, so we have survey, okay, sorry, sorry, I think it was, okay, yeah, so I'm just going to write it down, survey, carry out a survey. And when you carry out a survey, I'm sure you come across this expression, maybe you read it somewhere. When you carry out something, it's like, you know, to do, to make. So here you carry out a survey. And a survey is a kind of questionnaire to find out, you know, what people think of it. And okay, and sometimes it's also possible, you know, to have some reviews or something, so to get to know what they think about it. But let's have a look now what questions I can have there. And so I'm going to, okay, share with you, okay, the kind of questions you can have when you carry out a survey. And I'm going to, okay, right, okay. Okay, so for example, let's start with this. when you carry out a survey, and we're going to see, okay, also later, you have different kind of questions. So for example, okay, you can have a multiple choice question, okay, sorry, okay, so you can have a multiple choice questions. And let's have a look at some of them. So for example, the first one, which best describes your job role? Direct, manager, marketing executive. So you can have this kind of questions, yes, of course, because you're trying to find out their position, okay, their positions in a company. And I'm just going to write it down here, okay, so you have position, okay, in a company. So now when we talk about, okay, sorry, because, okay, just want to make sure you can see the screen properly, right, okay, so maybe, okay, like that, okay, just like that could be better, okay, okay, sorry, okay, but, okay, the one I was doing before, sorry, okay, because I was saying when they ask you a multiple choice, okay, and so, right, okay, okay, just up, okay, okay, and so I want to start with the other one first, okay, and then I'll show you that one later, because as I said before, you can have different kinds of questions, okay, but I want to go through them with you, okay, one of them, so this one here. So I was talking about multiple choice questions. And in that case, of course, they give you a choice. And here, first, you want to find out about their position. So when you think about your position, it's like, you know, if you are a tour guide, for example, this is your position, okay? And so many times when you meet people and they say, what's your position in a company? I'm a tour guide, I'm a travel agent, for example. That's your position. So that could be the first question here, which best describes your role, your job role here. Then we have, okay, possible, another is, okay, what was your reason for your visit to the website today? So why you visit this website? Example, to find out more information, purchase a product, service, to ask a question. Again, by chance, we have here the expression I used before at the beginning, that was to find out. To find out is similar, like I said before, to discover. But of course, like I said before, if a person uses discover, it's much easier for you because it comes from Latin. So that's why when you read and you write something formal, it's much easier because you could use like more formal language. But here you have find out. So you try to find out information to purchase a product. We said before, to purchase a product is quite formal. In an everyday language, you would use to buy a product, a service, or to ask a question. And then we have, okay, which of our product service have you purchased from us in the past? And which product, okay, which of our product service are you interested in? So here I try to find out what product they are interested in. And here we have the same expression I used before, you're interested in a product. So for example, in your email, the one we had before, I can say, okay, if you are interested, okay, in any of our product. In any of our products. So you're interested in, buying, okay, interested in using our product, but here you can say, I'm interested in this product, I'm interested in your service. Or like, you know, to use some of the expressions you may use more often is you're interested in visiting these places. So for example, if I come to you and I say, I'm interested in visiting, okay, this area, in Cuneo. I'm interested in visiting this place, or I'm interested in using your service. Okay, I'm interested in your service. Okay, so, or I'm interested in your product. Okay, so one possible way to find out some information about a customer, or to get some feedback, it could be here multiple choice questions. Okay, again, if you need to ask me anything about this survey, I'm sure many times, you have come across some of these expressions, but please feel free to ask. If you want to ask me anything, you can write in your chat. So you can tell me, okay, if you need to know something like in particular, or maybe you have used some of these expressions, so maybe in a different way, so I can help you with that. Because, sometimes, you can use the same vocabulary in a different way. Like, for example, one I've just said, you're interested in a product, but you're interested in buying a product. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Sorry, and product, sorry, I just typed too fast. So product, okay? So if you're interested in any of our products, okay? Or, like we said before, if you are interested in visiting this area and visiting this place, okay? And then, okay, we're going to, okay, start, okay, I'm going to show you, okay, another different questions, okay, and so we have here, okay, okay, this one, okay. Okay, so that's the multiple choice as well. And okay, this one. Yeah, this is a little bit easier, and maybe you use them quite often because it's just, yes or no questions. Like, for example, were you satisfied with your experience today? And yes, okay, here is just, yes or no questions to be satisfied with something. Again, here, yes, I can say, were you satisfied? Just use, the past here, or you can say, have you been satisfied? And I'm just going to write down in your chat here. So I can say here, have you been satisfied? Okay, so have you been satisfied? Satisfied, okay. So here, okay, if I have, for example, were you satisfied? So here we're just talking about, okay, last week when you came here. But when, for example, your clients, your customers are there, you can say, have you been satisfied? Have you been? Next question would be, would you recommend us to a friend or family member? So would you recommend? So just a yes or no question. And did you find what you were looking for on the website today? So did you find what you were looking for? So many times, for example, here we have, okay, search. So many times I hear people say, did you find what you are searching? It's not the case here because the search has a completely different meaning. So it's like your search when police try to search you. In that case, it's like when you try to find something and it's like looking for. So you can say, okay, something you're looking for. And then we have, did our product service meet your expectations? This expression here, to meet your expectations, means you found what we're looking for. So for example, I can say, yes, I came here, I visited this area, you were the tour guide, and I can say, if the place met my expectation. And I'm going to write it down here in your chat. So you can say this place, okay, so this place met my expectation. Okay, my expectation. So when you say this place met my expectations, it's like, I expected something, I thought it would be nice, and actually, yes, it is nice. So here you can say to meet my expectations. It can also be like, you know, no, that. You can say, well, it was not what I expected. And you can say, it didn't meet my expectation. So it can be, yes, it met my expectations. I can say, no, it didn't. Okay, so basically what I expect was completely different. So I can say, it didn't meet my expectations. What I expect was completely different. Okay, I expected something, okay, different from this one. You can also use, okay, you as a tour guide, you can use this in a question, because, you know, when they leave, you can say, hope the place, okay, met your expectation. And I'm going to write it down here. So you can say, I hope this place has met your expectation. Okay, so I hope this place has met, okay, your expectation. So just, okay, your expectations. Okay, perfect. So it means I hope, you know, it was, okay, ideal for you. So it was what you expected. And then here, would you buy from us again? Well, here I use this expression because, okay, I'm selling a product. But for example, if you are a tour guide and say, would you, okay, come here again? Would you visit this place again? Would you use our service again? So would you, because it's like, you know, it's formal, okay? I can also use here if you can. So if you can in the future, if you can in the future, will you use, okay, this product again? So this product again, so we have here, okay, and here again is possibility. So in case, if you can in the future, will you use this product again? So here is because you're talking about possibility in the future, okay? Yes, okay, we can say here, maybe I will use, maybe you will, okay, use this product again, maybe you will visit this area again. So you can say maybe you will, so maybe you will use this, okay, product, so you will visit. In your case, for example, you visit this place again, okay. And okay, in the same way, I can use like, you know, might. So maybe you will visit this place again, or you might visit. So you can say here, you might visit this place again. This place again. And whenever I use might, okay, I know it can be kind of confusing because maybe at school you remember more, maybe I will, okay. But basically, when I say you might visit this place again, it means exactly the same. So that means it's possible, it's likely, okay. It's likely you will use, you might, maybe you will. Okay, it's likely, okay, you will, okay, or yeah, I can say to you, yes, of course, I like this area, it's lovely. So I can say, it's likely I will come back. And when I use like, you know, it's likely, it means it's possible, okay. So it's likely I will come back. Again, come back, similar when you say to return. But of course, when you listen to people, it's quite unlikely they will say return. It's more likely they will say to you, I'll come back. So I will come back, okay? If you have any questions, okay, please feel free to ask. Maybe you need something specific, more particular, some vocabulary, or maybe, as I said before, you heard some of these expressions, but you heard maybe in a different way, they were used in a different way. Feel free to ask, okay? Perhaps we can have a few minutes break now and you think about anything you would like to ask, and then we can continue, okay? If that's okay for you, we have like, you know, a few minutes break now, like, you know, and then we can start again, okay? In about 10, okay, 5-10 minutes, okay? Okay, so I will see you, okay, in a few minutes. And when you come back, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, okay? So, okay, so we'll see you in a few minutes, okay? Okay, thank you. Okay, hello everybody. If you are there and you had, a few minutes break, if you feel better, feel easier now to concentrate, we are ready to start again. And so before starting, I was just thinking of going through some of the most difficult or interesting expressions we have had today. Like, we were saying before, we're talking about special offer. So we said how important it is to get in touch, with your customers, to track your customers. And one of the expressions we had, it was, to analyze, and to track your customers, and in particular the customers who churn, one of the expressions we had, and you will see on your handout anyway when we sent it to you. So customers churn, we said it's the number of customers who stop using the company project, this company project, to use another one. So that's when we talked about the number of customers who churn. So they stop using one project and start using another. And we were talking about emails, or the expressions we have when we send email. And yes, we were talking about sending an email with a special offer. And by chance, I use these expressions, which is quite used, is used a lot, is a bargain. And I'm going to, write here in your chat, so a bargain. And it's written like that. When it's a bargain, perhaps you heard many times this expression, like it's a bargain. It's written like that. It's a bargain. And when it's a bargain. When it's a bargain, it's like, when you find a product, and usually this product is very good, but usually it's quite expensive. So when it's a bargain, it's because you can buy this product and you spend less money. So you can say, yes, it's a bargain. And yes, because we're talking about the email, and we said how important it is to inform them, so to tell them about special offer and some discount, special offer, which you heard many times. Perhaps bargain is a bit more particular, so it's a bargain, so not so so expensive as it should be. So it's a bargain. Anytime, for example, nowadays it's very common to buy things online, and you can say, for example, like a watch, an expensive watch, and you can say it was a special offer. So yes, it's a bargain. So it was a bargain, it is a bargain, because usually it's more expensive. Now we're just talking about sending a questionnaire. So we said another way to contact your customers, to get to know their problems, if they're happy, they're satisfied. We said another good way is to send a questionnaire. And yes, we're talking about different questions, and we use by chance the expressions like meet my expectations. So for anyone who has just joined us, I'm going to write again here, meet expectations. So you can say to meet my expectation. So to meet my expectations, so means I expected something, and so yes, this has met my expectations. Like, for example, I gave you the example before. I come here in this area and I can say to you, I'm very happy to be here. It is a lovely place. And I can say to you, this place has met my expectations. So expectations, or I can say here, it has lived up to my expectations. Lived up to my expectation. So you can say here, it has lived up to my expectations, and I'm going to give another example here. It means the same. It's like, for example, it has lived up to my expectation. expectations. Okay, so I think yes, should be done. Okay, so it has lived up to my expectations. That means it has met my expectations. That's what I expected. And I gave you an example before. Maybe some of you could be a tour guide and you show me around the place. Okay, you gave me all the information I needed, and I said, yes, a lovely place. And you can say, thank you, the place has met my expectations. Or you can say here, the place has lived up to my expectations. Okay, so basically, this is what I expected. Okay, something else I can say here when I just, give you my feedback, I can say to you, yes, it lived up to my expectations. I can say, no, it didn't live up to my expectations. It didn't meet my expectations, so it was disappointing. Now, so many times we have here, it was disappointing. Disappointing, okay? When you say here, it was disappointing, and here we have disappointed. So when you say, for example, okay, sorry, okay, it's write it again. I typed too fast. It was disappointing. Okay, it was disappointing, like the place, an event or something. It was disappointing, disappointing, and I was disappointed. So I was disappointed. I was disappointed. It's like, because I expected something which I didn't get it. So yes, I was disappointing. Disappointing is like an event, like, a book, for example. Okay, a place, for example, it was disappointing. Like, before when we were talking about this email, and we use the expression interested in. So you can say, for example, I am interested in visiting this area in Cuneo. So I'm one of your customers, and I can say to you, I'm interested in visiting. So I can say here exactly the same. I can say, I write to you an email, and I can say to you, I'm interested in visiting this place, okay, this place, this summer. So if I say to you, okay, I'm interested in visiting this place this summer, what we had at the beginning of our module today, we had interested in, always together. And if I write an email and I can say, I'm interested in visiting this place this summer. So not interesting, but I say I am interested. So I can tell you how I feel about it. And you can say, yes, I am interested in. It is interesting for me. So I can say it is interesting. It is interesting for me. Okay, so it is interesting for me. So it is interesting. Okay, just an example here is something interesting. So it's in this area is interesting for me. Even, for example, when you, okay, for example, you talk to your client and you can say, well, this is an interesting area. You don't say this is an interested area, but you can say this is an interesting area. And yes, okay, you can say many tourists are interested in this area, okay? But the place is interesting. And imagine I write an email to you and I can say, good morning, I'm Tina. I'm interested in visiting this place this summer, okay? Or you can say your area in Cuneo, this area is very interesting for me. So that's the difference between these two things, okay? Interesting and interested. So that's why when I try to get some feedback from my clients, the client can say, it was disappointing. Remember the object, it was disappointing, like, the place, the area, disappointing, but I was disappointed, okay? And then we were saying, okay, yes, to carry out our survey. Another expression we had before, it was to carry out our survey. So to carry out a survey is like, to do, to make, like, to carry out a research, to carry out a survey. And we said before, this is the best way to find out how the customers feel about it, because, it makes them feel, also for the company, it's very important, to know how the customers feel about it. So here you carry out a survey. We had looked at before some examples, like, you know, we have some multiple choice questions, but you also have, for example, yes or no questions. And okay, and yes, of course, and they, of course, when they have like a multiple choice question, it's possible they ask you about your position, okay? And as one of the example, yes, we had it before, okay? So, so the last handout we had, it was about yes or no questions, okay? And yes, that's when we had these expressions here, meet your expectations. So did our service, did our project meet your expectations, okay? So it's the same like, you know, if I say, were you satisfied, did it meet your expectations, okay? And then one of the last, you know, thing we said before, would you buy from us again? So would you use our project again? Okay. And if you can in the future, do you think you will? And that's when I said, yes, okay, if I come back here again, yes, I will definitely use your project. So if I'm happy, for example, with your service, I can say, oh yes, of course, if I come back here, I will definitely use your service again, okay? I will definitely come to your place, for example, or I will definitely stay in your hotel because it was very comfortable for me. So it lived up to my expectations. Even, for example, if you work in a hotel and the customer can say to you, yes, it lived up to my expectations. So the comfortable place, so it lived up to my expectations, okay? And then, okay, at the beginning, we also, okay, oh, sorry, just went. So at the beginning, we also said, okay, that it's also very important here to send a letter, okay, an offer or something, or like we said, to tell them if there is an offer, inform them, okay, so keep them up to date, okay. So we have here, okay, so keep them up to date, okay. So because of course, for example, like in your case, there might be an offer or something and you should inform them. So send to them a letter with an offer. So keep them up to date, okay. And we're going to have a look, okay, at, okay, a letter. So for example, yes, okay, if I have, okay, so for example, this one, okay. Okay, and again, okay, so we have here a letter, okay. So for example, yes, okay, I make it bigger, okay. Like we said before, here you try to inform them, you try to tell them about any discount, or like, you know, the funny expression I used before, but used a lot in the UK, that is a bargain. So there is a bargain, so maybe, I don't know, your hotel is quite expensive, okay, usually it's very expensive, but, you know, there is a bargain. So like, you know, a good is a good price. Usually it's more expensive, but don't get confused, because a bargain is not like, you know, something you buy which is rubbish, it's cheap, because it's a bargain. It's like because the product is good, but because it was a special offer, you can get it. So that's when we call it a bargain. Let's have a look at some expressions you can use here. So for example, we appreciate your recent furniture purchase. And please notify you that customers who make payment in full within a month of their purchase date automatically receive a 10% discount on their next furniture purchase. We know you will want to take advantage of this program and look forward to doing business with you again soon. So again, here I want to, okay, update the customer that there is, okay, a discount. And you can have this kind of discount only if you make payment in full. If you make payment in full, it's like you pay all the amount of money. So if you pay all the amount of money within a month, okay. Here we have this expression. So you can say to your customer, for example, if you pay within a month. So within is like in this month. So it's like, you know, deadline. So you can say within a month. Okay, so many times you have, for example, by the end. So by the end of the month, like that. So by the end of the month, this is like, you know, a deadline. So maybe in a hotel, or okay, or maybe if you try to sell this, okay, tickets, for example, you can visit this museum, but usually it's more expensive. But if you book it by the end of the month, so by the end of the month, this is the deadline. And the deadline, okay, written like that, so deadline. So if there is a deadline, so means this is the last date. So maybe you can buy your tickets, and for example, if the deadline is the 1st of March, for example, you can buy your tickets on the 28th, on the 27th, but the 1st of March, yes, this is the last time. So you can say, yes, deadline. So you can say to your customer, yes, you can buy this ticket, you can visit this museum, but there is a deadline, and the deadline is the 1st of March. So if you book by the end of February, you will get a discount. So usually you have something like that, and this is something you can write also in your email, or maybe a brochure or something, because you tell them about this offer. So if, for example, if you book, okay, it by the end of the month, so we have by the end of the month, so by the end of the month, you will get a discount. Or like in that case, for example, 10% discount, okay? So if you book it by the end of the month, you will get a discount. So it is a possibility, and yes, we know this particular conditional in English. If you book it, you will get a discount. Or like, you know, if you want to give like more details, you can say you get a 10% discount. That's quite useful because, you know, sometimes you have to write it down in your brochure so they know about it. And so many times, you know, you can swap around and you can say you will get a discount if you book it in advance or by the end of the month. In advance is also the same. So for example, in advance, when you book in advance, like, you know, before, okay, or you can say here, if you book by the end of this week, by the end of the month, for example, in advance, you will get a discount. And okay, so here is, for example, in this letter, we can see you make payment in full within 1 month of their purchase date, automatically receive a 10% discount. We know you will take, we want to take advantage of this program and look forward to doing business with you again. Again, the same expressions we had before. Look forward to doing business. Look forward is like, I can't wait. We're very happy to do business with you in the future. So yes, we can say here, we are looking forward to doing business with you. And one of the expressions, yes, we had before, we can't wait. Okay, we're very happy. Or you can say here, we are looking forward to doing business with you. Something else which is very important when you write a letter, email, or prepare a brochure or something like that, it's very important, you know, to remember this kind of collocations, like two words which they always go together. So many times when you have to prepare a brochure, for example, you say make business or do business. So sometimes this is a kind of doubt because you don't know, make or do is kind of the same. Here, for example, if you remember to do business, okay, you try to remember them together. So it's a pleasure to do business with you, okay? So I'm looking forward to doing business with you again, okay? And okay, then I'm going to show you, okay, right, okay, okay, one more here. Okay, and okay, here we have, okay, thank you for your recent purchase, okay. Purchase, like we said before, okay, it's kind of formal, okay, and it's like, you know, the product you bought, and of course in a business English it's used a lot, so like, you know, a purchase. I want you to be aware of the 5% discount we offer. Here we have, okay, more formal, because in an informal way, we say, I want you to know. So if I write it down here, so I can say, I want you to know. I want you to know, okay, that, okay, this month. So for example, I can say here, in your brochure, you can say, I want you to know that this month we have, for example, 10% discount. Which is kind of informal. In many cases, in many companies, that's fine. You can say, I want you to know. It is a particular structure because I say, I want you to know, okay? It's particular. I mean, if you have to translate something from different languages, it's kind of strange because I say, I want a cup of coffee. I want some chocolates, for example, but I want you to know, okay? So I wanted to inform you, I want you to know that this month there is a special offer, for example. More formal, we have this expression here, and that is, I want you to be aware of, okay? So to be aware of, that means, you know, to know. Okay, so you can say in your brochure, you can say, I want you to be aware, I want you to know, okay? And okay, or you can say, for example, okay, I'm not so sure, okay, so for example, I'm not, okay, sure you are aware of this, okay, discount, for example. So I'm not so sure you are aware of, because here to be aware is like, you know, to know something. So I want you to be aware of the 5% discount we offer for early payment. Another good expression here, when you have early payment, because if you pay like in advance, you pay before, you will get 5% discount. To qualify, simply be sure that your discount payment is postmarked no later than 10 days after the date of your invoice. So here, okay, we have like, you know, again, it's a kind of deadline. So you have to pay like the expression we have before. So you can say you have to. So you have to pay, okay. So I can say here, you have to pay within, okay, within 10 days. Okay, so here we have, you have to pay within 10 days, sorry, okay, within, okay. Like the expression we had before, so you can say in your letter, you offer something, you offer this discount, and you can say you can pay, you have to pay, you need to pay within 10 days, okay. So here is a kind of deadline, okay. 10 days after the date of your invoice. I hope you take advantages of this offer by sending in your payment as soon as possible, okay? Here, yes, okay, quite formal as well. You can say, I hope you take advantage of this. But, okay, you can also say, for example, I'm sure you will take advantages of this. So I am, okay, sure of taking, okay, I'm sure you will take advantages of this. You will take advantages of this, okay? And yes, okay, yes, because it sounds kind of more confident, and yes, okay, so I'm sure you will take advantages, okay, advantages of this, okay. I would use this kind of expression, especially like in a letter, like in a brochure, because it's kind of sounds like more confident. Yes, I'm sure it is a reliable product. I'm sure it is, okay, a good price. So I'm sure you will take advantages of this, okay. But what we said before, there are some conditions, okay. So I can say here, you only get this discount, for example, only if you pay, for example, within 10 days. So the expressions we had here, there is a deadline, and you can say within 10 days, okay. You can say if you, for example, you can write if you pay before, you will get a good price, you will get a discount, you will get 10% discount. Or you can say, okay, unless, so, because sometimes you make it shorter, like in your letter, email, or brochure, you can say unless you pay in advance, okay, or unless you pay within 10 days, okay, you won't get a discount. So here we have unless. So when you write something like that in your brochure, unless means there is a condition. So you will not get a discount only if you pay within 10 days. And here we have unless you pay within 10 days, you won't get a discount. We can say you won't get a discount unless you pay within 10 days. Even in the first module we had together, we say that get is very popular. And so whenever you read write or you read a brochure, for example, you always come across this expression get. Like, you know, for example, here, you will get a discount. So you will get a 10% discount, okay? You will get a good offer. So you can say you will, okay? You will get a good offer. So you will get a good offer, and the expressions we had, I'm sure you remember this expression because it's particular at the end of this module. The expressions we had, you get a bargain. So to get a bargain, and to get a bargain is like, you know, a good expression, okay, here to use. To get a bargain, to get a special offer, a good price. So in order to get a bargain, you need to book like well in advance, okay? Again, like I said before, if there are any expressions you need to, they're kind of strange maybe, or you want some more information about it, feel free to ask, okay? Perhaps there are some particular situations at work where you can use this expression. So please feel free to ask. I try to imagine, okay, so that's why I try to use a lot of different expressions. But if you have any questions or something like that, even if you want to write down in my chat, I'll be happy to help you, okay? I try to imagine. So I try to imagine, I mean, if you're, for example, tour guides, I'm sure so many times you have many brochures with some of these expressions, okay? And of course, okay, you have like, you know, get a bargain, get an offer, get a discount, okay? And okay, and to get like 10% off, okay, like, you know, to obtain. The other expression, yeah, okay, and I try to give some examples, like, you know, for you to use, okay, in particular at work, like, for example, I want you to be aware, okay, so this is quite formal, okay, so you can say, I want you to be aware that this month there is like this offer, okay, and or like, you know, for example, when you think about the high season, okay, and this is one of the expressions we had in our first module, when, for example, you have an offer in the high season, okay, so high season, so one of the expressions we had, and so you can say, I want you to be aware that, for example, this kind of discount won't be available, won't be possible to get this discount during the high season. So again, I use get, so you can say you won't be able to get a discount, okay, during the high season. Only remember the opposite was low season. So you have, yes, low season. So you won't be able to get this discount, okay, in the high season. You will get it only in the low seasons, okay? So one of the expressions we had, I tried to remind you of some of the expressions, yes, we had. And yes, and get is very popular. So you say get a discount. And once we get your payment, so for example, once we get, okay, your payment, okay, so for example, once we get your payment, if you translate from different languages and you have to write in your brochure, for example, you can say once we receive your payment. Well, we say like, you know, once we get your payment, okay, we will be able to, okay, go ahead, okay, go ahead with the booking. Again, I'm trying to use some kind of formal expressions here. For example, once we get your payment, we will be able to go ahead with the booking. Go ahead, yes, we can go ahead, like, you know, we can do it, okay. Some of these funny expressions we also had in the first module when we had, okay, get on, get off, and we had so many examples there. And here again, we have here, go ahead. So you can say, we'll be able to go ahead with the booking, okay? And like, you know, for example, you can say, when you give like a condition, so you can say, we only do this once we get your booking. Once we get the money, the payment, we can go ahead with the booking. And like, you know, for example, okay, here if you say, okay, if, okay, okay, so I can say here, if there are any, okay, so I can say here, if there are any, okay, issues, any problems, okay, okay, so if there are any problems, for example, when you give like, you know, the offer and explain like the offer you have, if there are any problems, okay, you will be able, okay, to cancel it, okay. So here you give like, you know, a condition and you can say, yes, of course, we can go ahead with the booking, but if there are any problems, you will be able to cancel it, okay. It's a condition, so you can say, yes, you'll be able to cancel it if there are any problems, okay. Sometimes, you know, in your brochure, for example, if there is a special offer, so if there are a special offer, there are some conditions, okay? And during the first module, we talked about that when there's like, you know, a special offer and you try to, try to advertise, remember, business, you try to advertise a product. Yes, of course, you put like, you know, some conditions. You can say there is a special offer. You can get this, okay, bargain, you can get this special offer. And again, I try to use many times to get, you will be like more familiar with that. Get this special offer. You can get a special offer, okay, only in these days, for example, okay. You won't be able to get it like, you know, during the high season. But then we cite here, okay, if there are any problems, you know, you will be able to cancel it. But sometimes there are some conditions. And usually when you advertise a product, well, the advert is big. So it's written big, special offer, a bargain, 10% discount, 50% discount. So you try to catch, you know, people's attention. However, in the first module, we talked about small print, okay? So the small print is like, you know, imagine you have a brochure and you can say, yeah, you can visit this castle. Usually the price is very expensive, okay? The tickets are very expensive in high season, but you advertise the ticket, which is going to be, for example, 20 euros or something. This is like a special offer, and the castle is very important, very nice place, very nice area, so usually it's quite expensive. But you advertise and you just say, for example, it's a special offer, you send an email, so only this week we have a special offer, 20 euros for these tickets, okay? Well, of course, there are some conditions, but you have a big, you write 20 euros, okay? But then you can say you have a tour guide included, you can visit the castle, all around the castle, and you give all the information which they need to know. But what we call in English like small print, something which is written in a very small, okay, small, and underneath just on paper is written, for example, only if you book, for example, today, for example, or maybe only if you visit in the morning, for example, or in the evening, it's cheaper, okay, it's more expensive. So you write your condition in a small print, but of course people don't read so often the small print. They just read, you know, the thing that they can catch their eyes, and it's like 20 euros, that's fine, that's great, but they don't read like the small print. So that's what we talked about during the first module. So you can say small print, like, you know, the conditions, okay? And so here you can say you get, okay, this is a special offer, but there are, like, you know, some conditions. Right, sometimes, yes, okay, you try to make it clear, that there are some conditions. This is very important. Otherwise, you can get, you know, also some, okay, complaints. Okay, and here, okay, complaints. I'm sure you have heard this expression. So when, for example, you get some complaints, it's because people, like, you know, one of the expressions we had today, people are not satisfied. People are, the expressions we had here, it was people are not, remember, they're not satisfied. Trying to reminds me of the other expression that was, do you remember, live up to my expectations. That was quite tough. So you can say, okay, the place didn't live up to my expectations, so you can get some complaints. Again, get complaints. So, okay, sorry, okay, so get complaints. So get some complaints. So get some complaints. Again, okay, I'm sure after this module, you will all be using get, very easy. Get some complaints. So you will get some complaints because in your brochure, in your letter, you try to offer something, but you didn't really write in a clear way, you know, the conditions. So you can say, you can get some complaints because people were disappointed, remember, the place was disappointing, the service was disappointing, and people were disappointed. So you get some complaints, or people, okay, complain. So people complain about it. So we have complain, complaints. What's the difference between the two? You can see that complain is the action. So you can say people complain, and okay, we get some complaints, okay? So in order to avoid that, it's better, you know, to make it clear, to catch, you know, their attentions. Okay, and you can get some complaints because maybe, for example, it says 20 euros and then maybe the place or the company charge them more than 20. So for example, if I come to you and I say, yes, I visit this place, but I'm not really happy because on your brochure it said 20 euros and I paid 25 euros, so for example 30 euros. When you have people speaking to you fast, they can say to you, I'm not very happy because you charge me more, okay? So the offer on your letter, you offer 20 euros, but then when I paid, you charged me 25, you charged me more, okay? And I write the example here, so you have, you charged me, actually, okay, you have charged me, so you have charged me more than 20, for example, more than 20 euros, okay? Here you can imagine, because when you sent me this letter with the offer, you said to me, well, the tour guide, the visit of the area of the castle was 20 or 50 euros, something like that. When I pay, okay, I look at my receipt and I can see that you have charged me more than 20. So the expression here to charge means you took from me more, okay? So charge is not really used a lot. So many times people say, you know, you took more than 20 euros, much easier. But when you say you charge me, it means you took from my card more than 20 euros. So here is to charge me. Even better here, you can say you overcharged. So you overcharged, okay? You overcharged me. So yes, okay. So you can say here you overcharge me. And when you overcharge is because you asked me, you took from me more money than expected. So yes, in that case, yes, you can get complaint. So you can get complaint because your letter offered this price, but then no, you overcharged me. You can get yes a complaint because the place didn't live up to my expectations, okay? And okay, oh yes, because of the service was poor, okay, or because okay, some people, okay, some, for example, I didn't get a lot of information, like the tour guide, okay, it's not really professional, something like that. So that's when you get like a complaint, okay. But I can also get a complaint because, for example, in your brochure, you said, there was like, 10% discount, but then at the end, I didn't get this 10% discount because I didn't read, you remember the expressions we had before, so I didn't read the small print, because usually when you have, in particular, a brochure, usually you have something like that, you have something bigger, and then they try to, just to try to catch your eyes. And then I said, okay, it's not 10% because, for example, I'm going there during the high season, okay? So I only have like this in the low season, okay? Again, if you have any questions, okay, about these expressions, some of them I think are quite easy. I don't think you won't have any problems with that, but some of them are kind of confusing. Like, for example, we said complain, complaint, like, charge as well, it can be confusing. So if you have any questions, would you like to ask me? Or maybe some of them, maybe you have already used them as work and maybe use them in a different way. You want to double check with me? Yes, okay, feel free to ask in the last few minutes. I'd be happy to help you, because I think, some of them you may have used at work, maybe you have used like, in a different way. So please feel free to ask, okay? And so, yes, we have complain, complaint, and then we have here, to get a complaint, to get a discount, to get the special offer, and to get a bargain, to get a bargain. And like we said, yes, when you get like a bargain, of course, okay, is the special offer, okay. And when you write, your offer, you try to offer your service. So you can say, yes, we have this 10% discount, we have this special offer, okay, but you only need to book in advance, and you get, okay, a good bargain. But then maybe I don't read the small print, and it will not be possible for me to cancel it, okay. So, okay, I can't cancel it. I can't call it off, okay, so call it off, okay. Again, if you translate literally from a different language, it will be easier for you to say you can't cancel it, okay, because we got everything booked, and unfortunately there is a special offer, you can't cancel it. But of course, when you deal with, in particular, native speakers, you will hear the expression like call it off. To call something off, it means to cancel it. So you can say, unfortunately, because you have this special offer, you can't call it off. If you do, you will be charged, okay? So if you, let's have a look at this expression, if you call it off, you will be charged. So you can say here, you will be charged. Okay, again, okay, this instruction we had this afternoon, we used a lot of this because we said there is an offer, and you can say if you call it off, you will be charged, or you will be charged if you call it off, okay? So here, okay, we had this before, now it should be easier for you to get the meaning. So you will be charged means the company will take money from you, so you will be charged. You will be charged, usually having this kind of offer, email or brochure, you can say to your customer, you will be charged. It's kind of formal, because in a very informal way, you can say, if you call it off, we will charge you, okay? You will be charged is because it's more formal, okay? But I think this kind of structure is pretty easy for you, because I think, okay, in many languages, this kind of structure is kind of the same. So if you call it off, you will be charged. You will be charged if you call it off. So yes, again, we advise you to read the small print because yes, it's possible. The offer is, okay, there are some conditions in order to get this offer, okay? Do you have any questions in particular? Would you like to ask me? I don't know if maybe you heard charge or maybe you use charge. You can say to clients, yeah, please don't do this because otherwise we charge you. Or maybe sometimes you may have had a customer saying to you, excuse me, I think you charge me more than 10 euros. When they say that you charge me more, it's because you took more money than you should. In our hotel, for example, when you do your checkout, and you can say, oops, you charged me more. I thought it was 100 euros, but you charged me more. So you charged me more, that means, you took more than you should. So this is to charge. And overcharge is because you took more than you should. It's not like 1 euro, but a little bit more. So here you can say you overcharged. Even for example, if you work in a hotel and you need to tell them about your service, you can say, yes, you will pay for your room, whatever, but you will have to we charge you for internet. So if we charge you for internet, means you have to pay. So it's not free. So if it's not free, you can say, I'm sorry, madam, if you are in a hotel, you work like a receptionist, for example, and you can say, I'm sorry, but if you use internet is not free, we charge you. Sometimes you don't say it's free, we just say we charge you. And when I say we charge you, that means you have to pay. The opposite that will be is free of charge. So another expression you can use is free is free of charge. So it's free of charge, and it's free of charge, that means it's free, sorry, okay. So you can say, yes, it's free of charge, that means it's free, you don't have to pay. But if we charge you, right, okay, so it means it's not free, so you have to pay. Do you have any questions, something about these expressions at all? I don't know if they were quite easy, probably quite easy. I'm sure you have used them a lot. Or maybe because sometimes when you speak to your clients, for example, maybe you feel comfortable using some expressions, like you say, I'm sorry, it's not free. You feel comfortable, and you don't feel so comfortable saying, I'm sorry, we will charge you, okay, which is basically the same. So maybe it's the biggest problem is like when you listen to people, because if you are in a hotel, for example, and then you have people coming to you, of course, they will use any kind of expressions, okay? They can say to you, is it free? Or you can say, will you charge me? So if I say to you, if I come to your hotel, for example, imagine some of you work in a hotel, and I can say, if I use internet, will you charge me? Will you charge me? So here we have, will you charge me? For example, like that. Will you charge me? Or you can say, how much will you charge me? So how much, okay, will, okay, you charge me? So how much will you charge me? So here, how much you ask me to pay, so to charge. So it can be used like in a different way. But I think, my piece of advice is for you to remember, like all the packaging. How much will you charge me? Will you charge me if I use the internet? Is that free of charge? Is that free of charge? Is that free of charge, for example? Is that free of charge? Is that free? Okay, will you charge me? Okay, will you charge me if I call it off? So for example, will you charge me? So will you charge me if I call it off? Okay, will you charge me if I call it off? Okay. One of the expressions we had today was within this week. So for example, within this week. Will you charge me if I call it off within this week, for example, by the end of the week? Okay, another expression we had here when you had the offer, by the end of the week, by the end of the month, for example. Okay, by the end of the week, by the end of the month, will you charge me? Will I have to pay? Do I need to pay? Exactly. Okay. I hope it was all clear, and I hope you can use these expressions. Okay. Any questions at all? Okay. Do you think it was okay clear? If you feel free to write something in my chat. It's fine. I can just quickly answer you, or maybe you can just tell me if you want to. Just tell me if you use these expressions. If you are okay, just say to me, yeah, Tina, I'm quite comfortable with these expressions. Okay, I'll be happy to hear that. Just tell me if you feel happy to use this expression. It's pretty easy for you, or maybe some of them were completely new, or they were quite easy because you have come across these expressions before, you have used them before. So feel free to tell me. Okay. Okay, so I'll be really happy to hear from you to say, yeah, I've used this expression so many times. Okay, or you say, yeah, I used charge to be in charge many times. Okay, so feel free, even if you don't feel like talking is fine. I'll be happy just to read a message from you saying, yes, Tina, I use this expression so many times. So feel free to ask me if you have any questions at all. I try to imagine your positions, okay? So remember, one of the expressions we had today was position, okay? Your position is like, for example, if you work here as a receptionist, this is your position. If you are a manager, okay, or if you have, for example, a tour guide, this is your position, okay? And these expressions we also had in the first module together, so position. I try to imagine also your tasks, okay? Your tasks, remember we had them before. Your task is like, things you have to do. So help the client, speak to the client, welcome the client if you're a receptionist. So these are your tasks. So during this module, I also try to imagine your tasks. And that's why so many times I try to give you so many examples, okay? If your position is like, in a hotel, for example, as a receptionist, you will say, I'm sorry, madam, yes, we will charge you if you need the internet. I'm sorry, it's not free of charge, okay? Or like, for example, if you are a tour guide, yes, okay, I'm sorry, we will charge you, for example, we will charge you more if you, for example, visit this place, at the weekend, for example. So at the weekend, we will charge you more, okay? So that's one, okay, expression you can use. If I come to you and I say, yes, I want to visit this castle, it's very interesting for me, I love it. How much will you charge me? If I want to come, for example, in this area when it's very busy, so the high season, I can say to you, how much will you charge me? Will you charge me extra, for example? I can say to you, will you charge me extra if I come at weekends, for example? So I imagine me coming to you and say, yes, I want to do that, so how much will you charge? Or another good expression we had today was within. So will you charge me, will I get this offer if I ask you, I come to you and say, yes, I really want to visit this area in Cuneo. I want to visit this castle. So there is a special offer, it's a bargain for me. So will I get this offer? So will I get this offer if I buy the ticket? So if I say here, if I buy the ticket by within this week. So within this week, okay, within this week. So I can say to you within this week, okay, or by the end of the week, by the end of the week. So will I get this offer if, for example, I buy the ticket within this week? Will I get this offer if I buy by the end of the week, for example? Okay, so that's a possible question for me to ask you. Okay. Okay, any questions at all? Okay. Any questions? Would you like to write me anything before you go, before you finish? Anything at all? Or maybe just tell me, yes, Tina, there was one expression that was new, or it was everything, you know, I was familiar with everything. If you want to, you can tell me. Anything at all? Would you like to text me something, message something, anything? No? Was it all clear? Okay. You heard, okay. Yes, I heard this expression. That's very good. So I'm happy, okay. So I think, you know, so if you heard, even better, because all the examples I've given you, maybe it could be even better because you heard it before, maybe heard in a different situations. So now, yes, you can use, like, you know, also in a question, will you charge me? Will I be charged or something like that? So yes, it's even better, okay. I hope it was very useful for all of you. And I've tried as much as I could to give you some examples for you to use them at work. And I try to imagine all your different positions, because I guess you all have different positions. So I try to imagine what kinds of expressions you would need, okay? But I guess, you know, regardless of your positions, these expressions can be used, okay, in many cases. So I hope it's been very, very useful for you, okay? I'd like to thank you so much for your time. It's lovely to be with you this afternoon. We will send you the handout with all the expressions we had, okay? And I've tried also to write down any expressions, because I think, you know, with the example, yes, it's much easier for you to remember. But you will receive the handout as well, okay, for you to remember all the expressions, and for us to remind you what we've been doing together this afternoon, okay? So I'd like to thank you so much for your time. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody. Okay, it was a pleasure to have you, to be with you this afternoon. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Tina. So again, we had the chance to improve our vocabulary, I think.
Right. Okay. I hope it's been useful. And as I said, we will send you all the handouts, so it will be much easier to remember what I've been talking about this afternoon. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye.